deeply into the rattle bag of our remembering. Great man, and we'll be hearing more from Hugh Brooks, possibly on this programme, but equally possibly on James McAreevy's Destination History. Hugh has a huge story to tell and very much wants to get it down so that we know where we're about. Men who are bringing the past back to life, but who are also breathing new life into the art and the science of blacksmithery. And this weekend at Ballinlis Forge there will be a forge-in, and two of the local men behind it, Micheal, Mallon and Gerard. Is it Gerard or Gerald? Gerard. Gerard Loughran. You're both very welcome. How are you?
Thank you, Ron.
We talked before in this programme about the wonderment of the forge, the anvil and the sparks and the fire and the thrusting of the iron in and the tempering and the beating and the cooling it and the water and the steam and all the rest of it. Yeah. You're mighty men.
Oh, yeah.
You've been written about. In history, you've been written about.
Yeah.
Always.
That's
and
right.
people have said things.
Yeah.
A whirlwind of a man has just come in now, but we'll ignore him completely.
Yeah.
He wants to get your pictures on the screen, you see.
Yes.
You've brought so what is a forge-in at Ballinlis, lads? Start us off.
Well, basically, a forge-in is where a group of blacksmiths will get together to create an item, say, over a weekend. And that's what we're hoping to do this weekend.
A single item.
A single item,
This
yeah.
is the logo of it. This is your Irish Artist Blacksmiths Association.
Yeah, that's the logo of our group.
Yeah, and a fine logo it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've near enough 80 members countrywide.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do, the whole idea of the association is to add on skills and pass them on to the next generation.
Yeah.
You know, from the older, more experienced men like Mickey here.
Yeah.
You know.
He's called you an older man, Mickey.
I'll talk to him later.
You talk to him later, put manners in him later. You know, I would call you a more mature gentleman, a man of wisdom.
Yeah.
But these young fellas nowadays, you know, you just...
That's right.
But it gladdens your heart, Mickey, to see this
It
man
does,
coming
you know,
on.
yeah.
Younger people
Yeah.
coming into the business.
I didn't realise until I joined this association through Gerry that there was as many blacksmiths about.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the populace,
Yeah.
I thought they were on their way out, you know.
James, have you something for us there? Give it to me, and then sit down. I'll reach over, because you're towering above me there, and I don't like it. Photos. Oh, thanks. God bless you. So we've got the logo we had, and then James was telling us the fabric. Well, we'll come to that in a minute. That's all good. That's all good.
Yeah.
Now, so it's growing again. Not that it ever didn't grow,
No,
because
it never,
in pockets within the country it was
correct,
always
right,
there.
Yes, yes.
Had to
Yeah.
be there because of the nature of the life of the country.
Yeah.
right.
Well, the whole idea of setting up an association, this was set up in I think in the 1980s in Donegal was the start of it.
Yes.
And the whole thing was to keep blacksmithing alive, to get blacksmiths so they can congregate and feed off each other, get different ideas and you know, promote themselves.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, now, this weekend, the forge-in at Ballinlis, you're creating the forge. It doesn't exist already.
Oh no,
I have a forge.
Well, that's
there.
your forge
That's
there.
my forge.
That's
That's my
it.
workshop.
That's
yeah.
your workshop.
That's my workshop.
And what
yeah.
sort of stuff are you doing
20
today?
years or more.
Well, I suppose this past 25 years I've been working with all kinds of architects, interior designers, making bespoke staircases.
Fancy stuff.
Fancy stuff, items like.
Yeah.
No, I don't shoot horses or anything like that.
No,
It's all
no.
ornamental work that I would do,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I noticed this last number of years, it kind of died a bit, but this last maybe 10 years or so, architects are starting to ask for it again, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't actually understand it properly, but
No.
they see it all around them in churches and stuff,
Yeah.
and they want to know, can somebody still do
But
this,
we,
you know?
we have had so much. We have had so much formica and plastic and nonsense
Yeah.
that people want something gutsy and original and right,
right.
roaring from the belly of your
Yeah.
creative heads. You know,
Exactly,
you
yeah.
guys. And what sort of stuff are you giving them? And they're coming to you and saying, "Look, I want a creative stair." Well, a staircase is a staircase is a staircase, or is it?
No.
That's not
There's
really
a lot
it.
more than that.
You tell me.
Yeah.
Well, basically, Gerry would go out, or myself would go out, not so much myself now, but and measure up your concrete or wooden staircase. We'd make templates of that, come back and do up a drawing, which incorporates scroll work, forge work, leaf work, basket work, all that type of thing, and put it together to your requirements. Therefore, it becomes a bespoke piece.
A bespoke
And
piece. I speak it to you.
It's unbelievable the work there is in that. When you think of all the other things with modern tools now, You can bring a carpenter in and you can do the whole house out in a matter of days.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
No,
it
but
takes
you're
time to do our
you're beating it
We're-
and heating it,
basically
and
labour.
making
wanted
it.
to do.
Yeah, it's labour.
Yeah.
It's fairly labour intensive, but at the same time, we've moved on with the times as well. We have modern machinery now and equipment that speeds the job up, takes a lot of the labour out of the job, and we use computers and stuff for doing
Who
drawings.
did this?
That's my
That's-
table there for the
there we
Titanic
go.
That's your table.
Titanic exhibition we done in Belfast there
But
last
that's
year.
not iron, is it?
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
It looks like pine or
I know.
mahogany.
I know.
But that's you've made that.
It was let rust and then lacquered over the top.
Wow, that's clever.
Yeah.
That's clever.
So that's another part of it. Titanic Association.
And that's yours as well.
It's not mine. This is from the whole
Oh yeah,
association.
yeah.
We actually donated this to the Titanic Centre there last year, and they have it up there on constant
Okay.
permanent display.
Okay,
you
one
know.
of the
That,
lifeboats.
incidentally
That was Hill
good.
Street in your. No, where was
No,
that? That's Monaghan.
Monaghan.
That's Monaghan.
Yeah.
Big fortune.
That's outside.
That was a forging in Monaghan.
Yeah.
That's outside the Westerner Hotel there.
Yeah. But you're making a lot of different things here. I thought the forging
well,
was coming together to make one thing.
That's all for that hive of knowledge you see it coming up there
Yeah.
shortly. There was
Yeah.
200 blacksmiths from worldwide at that.
At that.
Yeah.
And that's the hive of knowledge.
That's the
Did you
finish
make
article.
that on the day? Or
We
on the
made
weekend?
Made
No.
most of that on the 2 days.
On the
2.5
2 days.
There was 15 panels of artwork was made on the 2 days. The main frame was already made.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's 15 panels of artwork was made over the 4 days, say, to go into that, you know.
You're
And
looking at,
it's-
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Dougie.
sorry.
you're looking at a ton and a half of metal there.
Oh, you are, surely. Yeah.
But it's amazing to be able to do that on the street, like in a town.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But all you need is the hammer, the anvil, the fire, and the water.
Oh yeah,
The elemental forces of life.
yeah, exactly. That's what
right.
you need. So what we're doing here for James is we're making a maritime themed bench, and it's dedicated to a man called Harry Hollywood.
Yes.
We went to sea for 64 years.
It's a great seagoing name out of Newry.
Out of Gerry.
Yeah.
He was ended up.
And what is James? I'll be talking to James tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is his specification to you in relation to the Harry Hollywood bench?
Well, basically, it's to tell the history. There's nothing on the canal to say this man ever even existed. You know.
Well, how are you going to? What's going to make the bench special? What kind of inspiration are you bringing to it?
Well, we're bringing a maritime theme to it. It's the back of the bench is going to be the helm of a ship,
Wow.
and hopefully with Harry's name on it, and the date, you know, from he was born to he died, like this type of stuff.
Amazing.
And the whole bench is completely made into the traditional method, blacksmith joinery throughout. There's no welding at all on the bench, no electric welding.
No electric
No,
welding.
all tenant, all riveted.
Tenant
original.
riveted. Is it crossed over and riveted through?
Riveted through, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Goodness gracious.
So it's a one-off bespoke item, like.
Absolutely.
And,
Will it be big?
It's
About
perhaps
7
about 7 feet long.
You two work together, do you?
No, not every day. No,
No.
no, no.
You couldn't stick each other.
We
every
fight, we fight all week and get together on weekend.
Well, here there'll be a queer get together in O'Hanlon's in Mullabon
that'd be a good-
on the Saturday night.
They're
Managed
def-
coming down, Gerry, 25 of them would be.
There's about 25 blacksmiths, but there'll be other people along with them as well.
Yeah.
You know, the people staying
Yeah.
over to have a bit of fun. Like, you
When
know.
did the world first see a blacksmith?
The world?
What's the history of it? Who
Well,
was the
it's-
first blacksmith?
It goes
He-
back
he-
a long, long time.
He moved on from the time of the Stone Age.
Yeah. Like I suppose I have to ask you, was Noah's boat, was she steel or was she wood?
She was
I-
wood, but there's people that tell you there was iron nails and rivets in it. So, you know, that's a long time ago. Like, somebody had to make them.
God knows.
You
God
know?
knows.
Yeah.
It's the thing. But the weekend then, when can people come and see it and what's the procedure?
Well, it's going to
half
start
10, kick off. isn't it?
about 10:30 on Saturday morning. We'll be lighting all the fires. People can come and view. It's a safe area. People can't actually walk into the forging area, but they can stand
Yeah.
around
Ah,
and
yeah,
watch.
see
You know what
it.
I mean?
Yeah,
It's safe.
yeah.
Like. So anybody interested in that type of work or artistic iron
And
work,
what will you be making on Saturday, guys?
Making
We'll-
that bench.
Oh, it's the bench you're making.
We're
on
making the
Saturday.
bench, yeah.
So at the break of day there'll be no bench.
There'll be no
At the
bench.
close of day there'll be a bench.
There'll
well,
be a bench.
Sunday evening there'll be a bench.
Wow.
We're doing the 2 days.
That is huge. It'll
Yeah.
take 2 days to do it.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And it takes on a greater provenance because men from all over the island of Ireland have converged
Yeah.
in Mullabon on a weekend in the year 2013
Yeah.
to make the Harry Hollywood bench
Exactly.
of iron.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Wow.
And incidentally, there's 2 blacksmiths there. They're doing a restoration work on
That's
an
right.
old gate.
On an old gate.
We're big into that too.
Yeah, you do the gates.
In order to save the old ironwork.
Yeah, but sure, look,
So
the gates you
they're
get
doing a
nowadays
demonstration.
are tubular bells of gates. They're
That's right,
they're
yeah,
nonsense
that's right,
yeah.
gates. And then they're
Yeah.
what do they call it? They're dipped in the
Powder
galvanized thing.
That
Yeah,
sort of thing,
yeah.
yeah.
But they're not gates at all.
Yeah,
They're,
usually-
they're very practical.
You
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
get them skips about 12 months later than the skip.
You would, but you know, your stuff is still hanging
Yeah.
on gate posts around the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
I
still
have a wee pair
there.
of gates in the forge at the minute. I'm doing them up for James, and they were made approximately 130 years ago
Okay.
by a local blacksmith, Paddy Connolly,
Yeah,
at Clough Bridge there.
at Logbridge.
Yeah.
Ah, there was the place at There was the
There was
wee.
two places.
Yes,
actually.
well,
Connolly's and Micheal.
Yeah, yeah. Have you guys, you know, when your lives you wanted to be blacksmiths at the very beginning? What was the way you came to blacksmithery?
Funny enough,
Straight out of school or not?
I wanted to be a carpenter.
A carpenter.
Tables and chairs and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
but then you got that wrong because when you started carpentry, you put the wood into the fire thinking that you could
That's
work
it.
it.
That's
what
where I
And then
went
you say,
wrong.
I'm doing something wrong here.
That's
I'm
what
not
happened.
sure what I'm doing wrong.
Well, funny
And then
enough-
you said, I want to be a blacksmith.
Well, funny enough, I learned from that too, because that's the way I still light the fire with the piece of wood.
You do not.
I do.
God, you're clever.
Well, funny enough, a lot of the joinery is very similar, you know.
Aye.
You know, proper joinery. Like.
Yeah.
But I come to blacksmithing by, I served my time as a steel fabricator.
Yeah.
But I was always,
Did you climb?
didn't climb, no.
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 No, I did.
Did you, yeah?
Yeah. Used to do the cranes at Warren Point Port.
No, no.
Right.
No, I didn't.
Myself and John Donnelly.
No.
Well, I was his lackey.
Yeah.
John was the painter and the thing, and when they would go on holidays in the summer,
Yeah.
Donnelly would get the job. He's dead and in heaven now. We used to sail together, and he used to say to me at the beginning of every week, because there's a perception that I was a bit cantankerous,
Yes.
and there'd be he'd say to me at the beginning of each week, "Hand," he says, "who am I not allowed to speak to this week?" Get your hand away from that mic, sir.
Sorry.
Oh, you're mixed. I had to shout at him there. That was terrible.
Yeah.
course,
But I
I
mean,
get
Donnelly
shouted at.
would go up to the top of the cranes, and
Yes.
we'd chip from the top down. He'd take one crane, I'd take
Yeah.
the other, and we'd work our way down the crane,
What is
chipping.
this? For repainting, was
Oh,
it?
aye, aye.
yeah. Taking
We'd
the-
chip her on the way down, where you see any damage coming in.
Yeah.
And we would chip her on the way down and put a splash of red lead on it to begin
Yes,
with. And
yes.
at the bottom of the thing, you would end up with a polka dot crane.
I know,
But
yeah.
then you'd go back to the top again, you'd come down,
Yeah.
and you'd put Mercatius iron oxide on it,
Yes.
which you would know about.
Yes.
And it was the grey stuff.
I
you
don't
put
know about
on.
that big word
No.
you use there now, but
Well, that's just,
I know where
that's
you're coming with that,
just in the
actually.
nature of me. Why wouldn't I use big words like
course
that?
you
That's
could,
right.
yeah.
I ran away from the Abbey, for God's sake.
No.
Why, I did indeed, with style, alacrity, and much joy. I ran away from it. But at the end of the day, Donnelly hadn't advised me right.
Yeah.
That I had to allow the red lead to dry
Yeah.
before putting the Mercatius on.
Yes.
She ended up with a pink polka dot.
I
shape.
think. Very good.
So will people be able to come and see you? Yeah.
No problem, they come up and see us. And as Mickey says, there anybody with an interest in conservation work or historical iron work, there's two men there be doing a demonstration on how to properly repair that, you know.
Yeah, that's good. And I think it's
So-
important to acknowledge
by the
what-
way, the place will be well signed for those who don't know their way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Well, it'll be grand. Ballinless, a great Camlin name.
Yeah.
It is indeed. And we need to acknowledge, too, the enthusiasm and the foresight and the inspiration of the man, James McAreevy.
Yes, yes.
He's a dedicated fellow.
Yes.
No doubt about
He's
it.
determined to do
Many a
things.
time I think to myself, the general public don't know what they have
Oh, aye.
in James McAreevy.
Yeah.
They
Ah,
don't
well.
realise what they have.
Yeah, well,
It's a computer.
Is he really? Yeah.
He is,
I don't
yeah.
know him that well at all, but I do see his enthusiasm. And
Yeah.
that's,
He's very
that's-
enthusiastic now.
Yeah, and he gets things done. It's good. So the people will be remembered. This Mr. Hollywood, by Sunday night, his bench will be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boys, thank you very much. Do you know what we'll do now? I'm going to suggest this to you, dear boy. This is D. Rafferty over there, you see. I'm looking at my running order here. And that would be nice to do the piece on the summer of the summer of 13. That was when we started out here. One of the first things
Yes.
we did, I was down in the sunshine, out meeting the people of Newry and talking to them, and we got a nice little program. So we're going to run that now for you until we come to our next thing. There we are.
Very good.
How's that? Thanks, lad.